Hi, it's me, Art Williams, the real Wandering Salsero in the real Medellin, and I'm back to my old tricks, blogging and making crazy ass videos again. But if you're looking at this article, you probably have some interest in Medellin. It's a beautiful city. I've lived here for maybe just a tad over 7 months now. I've been in Colombia for a little over 3 years. And I think Colombia is a great country. And for large cities, I think Medellin is no doubt the coolest city in it. It's the weather is probably the biggest thing. The weather is just absolutely fantastic. I never lived any place in the U.S. where it was like this all the time. San Antonio was nice sometime. Phoenix, it was nice sometime. Same for Houston too. But weather in Medellin is just beautiful. I thought I wanted to share, just because it's interesting, an incident with you. Yesterday, I walked from my house, my small apartment, over to the, excuse me, this shopping center that I go to a lot. I just want to show you what happened on the way back. First of all, this is Google Maps that I've got opened in my screencast-o-matic here. And I want to show you, I live basically in this area right here. You see that red H where it says Clínica Conquistadores? I live actually right there where that blue dot is. And there is here they don't call them shopping centers, they call them centro comerciales. And one of the ones that's just maybe an 8-minute walk from where I live, 10 if you walk slow, which I do frequently, is this one right here. It's Centro Comercial Unicentro. I'm going to expand it a little bit here. It takes up this whole block. You can see I'm moving with my cursor. Okay? And it's not the biggest shopping center in Medellin by any means, but it is nice. It's typical of most of them. See, there's the name, Centro Comercial Unicentro. And on this street, the northwest side of it, there's a major road. It's a divided road. They have traffic going both ways. And right over here, there's a college. UPB, I forget what that stands for, but I actually don't get over there in that side of the mall very often because I live on the I live on the basically on the east side. But so there's no stores over here. That's a school. This is the roadside for the mall itself. There are some stores over here on the southwest side, and when I come to the well, actually no, I don't. When I enter, I usually enter right here. See where it says Cafe Oma, and is one of the major coffee Starbucks type places here. They do have Starbucks in Colombia too, by the way. You don't see that many of them. At least I haven't. I think there was one in Bogota. There might be one in Medellin too. I don't know. But Oma is another one, and it's also good. But what I was going to say is wanted to show you where I live. Not that you're ever going to visit me, of course. But anyway, right here. See this street right here? East-west? This is, what is this? Calle 34. And this going this way, there's another, about 4 or 5 blocks down there, there's another major street for what Medellin would call a major street. But what's interesting about this is the fact that there's also a very nice supermarket right here called Merque Paisa. And this street right here, Calle 34, there's lots of buses there, and if you take it going east, just for your other information, it will take you down this way. No, it's right here, yeah, Calle 33, yeah. And there's a major shopping center over here called San Diego, okay? But let's get back to where I was right here. Yeah, it's actually right here. Yeah, in Merke Paisa. See, matter of fact, it says right there, supermarket Merke Paisa. But I'm digressing. So when I walk to Unicentro over here on the left, from where I live right here, where this little blue dot is over here on the right, what I basically do is I walk down this street right here, which is, I don't know, I'm curious, now that I mention it, Calle 34, okay. We'll walk down Calle 34, and there are some, I'd say maybe 6 or 7 or 8 small shops here. There's a nail salon, and there's a restaurant, Italian restaurant right here in the corner. And there's a nice little Italian cafe here called Ciao Bambino. The guy that runs its name is Christopher. He's actually from Salerno. Big, tall guy. I mean, he could easily be a a basketball player. And I eat there sometime. They have specials, 10,000 pesos specials every day, which is, what, about $3.33 at today's exchange rate. But my point is, when I was walking back, see, I walk across here. This is a divided street right here. In this median right here, you actually see there is a what the Clampetts would call a concrete stream. It's I think it was designed as part of the drainage system around here. And I wouldn't necessarily swim in it, but it is nice, and sometimes the water is really pretty clear. There's sometimes a little trash in it, not often, but traffic is going this way on one side of it, and then on this side right here, it's going, of course, northeast. So I'm walking back, right, and I come this way. You see my cursor? No, I beg your pardon. This way right here. Because I walk up here when I go to the mall. Here's Unicentro Mall. And then when I come out, I walk past Oma, down this way, and then a little bit of a jog this way. And then this is a bridge that crosses this concrete stream. So as I described in the article, I happened to be, as I was walking along here, I noticed there was a lot of traffic. And there is traffic in certain parts of Medellin at certain times of the day. It's not nearly as bad as lots of other major cities, and it's nothing at all in trade, in consideration of how nice Medellin is in so many other ways. But as I'm sitting here, I'm just noticing, wow, this is quitting time. It was about would have been around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and as you know, especially if you're doing photography, that afternoon light is a very mellow light. It was really nice. So I'm standing there and I'm realizing, wow, there's a lot of cars here. And so I thought to myself, well, why don't I whip out my little smartphone camera and take a video, which I did. Although you won't see the video right now because I can't find it. I uploaded it someplace and I don't know where in the hell it is. But I started taking pictures of all these cars here, and there's taxis. The taxis are little bitty, small, yellow pocket rockets, a lot of Hyundais and some other kinds of Chevrolets and stuff, and a few buses, and then you'll even occasionally see a few BMWs around here, but mostly they're Chevrolets and Mitsubishis and Mazdas and your mid-sized car, probably a little smaller than the typical car in the U.S., but a lot of traffic. And I just really enjoyed looking at the people in there because you see just all different kinds of people. A lot of people, especially the taxi drivers, had their windows open. And I was standing, this is a bridge here, you can't tell on the map, but I was standing right here. And a lot of them would look at you. Generally speaking, Colombians are friendly people. And I talked to some of them, and there was some guys that came by on a motorcycle. Of course, there was a lot of motorcycles, but a few of them I spoke to. There was a guy came by. He came down this way in a really cool sounded Ducati. Matter of fact, I looked at the model, and it was a scrambler, but really sounded tough. And I just really had a good time standing right here on this corner. I stood there for at least a half hour. And there was a guy. I remember there was a guy and a girl in the car. The girl was driving, and for some reason I said something to her, and she said something to me. We had a little mini conversation there, and then the bus driver. There was two buses, and they were both the same bus that were coming down the south on this road right here and heading in this direction. But they both were the same bus. They both were the Bolivar bus. And the way the buses work around here is they have signs on the front window. They're not hand painted, but they're, well, some of them actually might be, but they're in red, white background with red and or blue letters. And it just lists all the major places where the bus goes. And what I noticed was funny was both of the buses said Bolivar on it, but one of them underneath it said Bolivar, Parque something, and then the other one said Bolivar, but it said Unicentro. And even though both the buses had the same color, because I think that's significant too, it made me curious, because I think the way that they work the bus stations or the bus routes around here is that different companies have licenses to work certain routes. Because you'll notice that certain buses that would be called like, Bolivar, that they'll all be like blue and white, and they'll have a certain pattern of colors and a certain stripe pattern and so forth. And then some buses are like blue and red. So I went up to the driver in the front bus and I asked him in my limited Spanish if his bus and the back bus on the back were the same, lo mismo ruta, if they had the same route. And he understood what I meant. He said, oh yeah. So I don't know why one of them had a slightly different signage. But anyway, this is where I was standing right here. So that's what this article is about, okay? And if I ever do find that video, I'm going to post that video because I think it's just real interesting. I've commented in several of the videos that I've made that it's always nice to just, to look at people and just look at the daily life that flows around you when you're in an area. So many tourists go to places and they're so busy running around seeing stuff that they never see anything, okay? Anyway, that's just my opinion, and you may or might not agree with it, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Art Williams, the real Art Williams, the real Medellin. See you later.